I'm realizing you can't wear all the hats.
Yeah.
You cannot wear all the hats.
Impossible.
And you have to delegate appropriately.
Yep.
You gotta find people you trust because this is your baby, and it's extremely hard to give up control.
This is Don't Fear Grit with Rob Taormina. Marketing strategies and advertising technologies to help you build a better business.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a photographer that's in-house here on Long Island. She's an incredibly established photographer working with a couple different industries though, and some of them might surprise you guys, but they're all absolutely amazing, and she's going to be revealing, I'm going to get her, I promise, I'm going to make her reveal some of her tips and tricks. So it's a pleasure to have Elise in the house. How you doing?
Thank you so much, Rob.
Oh, you're welcome. So give everyone a little bit more context. I know I told them your name. I know I told them you're a photographer, but give them the background, name of your photography studio, where you're at, what you're practicing, all that good stuff.
All right, absolutely. So as Rob told everyone, my name is Elise, and I operate Elise Margolin Photography. And we are, a small, very boutique, Long Island-based portrait studio, and I do very small, intimate weddings. I love to do them because it's like 100 people are under. It's very intimate. I have a very photojournalistic style, and I really like to capture the nice, intimate story of the day. And then I also serve all of our wonderful families and do a lot of portraits and capture all those moments so that when they are older and look back and say, I didn't reflect, but you did because I took care of it for you. Yeah. So I'm going to just magically become a magician and create these time capsules.
That's awesome.
For everybody.
Very, very cool. Well, I know you're very good at what you do, and you're also the official photographer for the local Chamber of Commerce as well, right?
That is a true statement. I've held that position now for the last year. And
congrats.
Thank you very much. I love Smithtown. I grew up in the town of Smithtown, so coming back here, it was a really nice way to get involved and, learn the community members. And there's been some great fundraisers and just, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. This is a really active community and an unusually active chamber as well, led by some amazing people. Like, growing up, you think chamber and you think like all the older businesses a part of it. But you come to Smithtown, and I know it's the greater Smithtown encompassing several different towns, but this particular chamber is really active. They do a ton, and they really go the extra mile to benefit the local business community. And I've just recently gotten to speak with them and developing these relationships, but I'm so impressed by what they're doing there.
It's been an amazing year. I think so much has happened just adding my photos to the social media, and we've really developed a really large young professionals, as you met the other night. So many young people eager to build their business, have it in Smithtown, and want to cater to we have so many new residents. There's so many new housing projects that went up and all these different things. So those are the people, those are your customers. Right. So we need more businesses and we need to serve them.
So let's start from the very beginning of your career here. How did you get started, and why did you get started as a photographer?
So that's actually a very great and interesting question. So I started, I was always into telling stories. Like as a kid, I would always kind of be that little kid that would journal and I wrote the newspaper of the family, and I would talk about what my brother did that day, and I was always into telling a great story. So, but when we were growing up, it was different. So what do you do with that, right? That's what everyone says. So I became an English teacher.
Oh,
and
wow.
All right, I'm gonna teach children to express themselves, in words and understand literature and, kind of dig that a little bit. But after about 15 years in the political, it kind of wasn't making me as happy as, because every teacher has their little side hustle.
Of course.
So I always was into photography as a hobby. I took it in high school. I experienced the dark room, which a lot of people today don't.
Most people would be like, what is that?
Yeah. I mean, I saw an image come alive out of, chemicals, and I was just instantly hooked. Wow. So I always, and being a teacher, I had a lot of vacation time. Yeah. So I would spend my summers traveling and taking photos, and I started to win contests, and people started to give me this positive feedback of, oh my God, your photos, I felt like I was there. You really captured it. And, can you can you do some work for me? And it just started to kind of snowball. And I eventually realized that this was my true calling. Like when they say it's not work if you love it, that is so true.
Wow.
I was just having such a great time, and everyone was so happy and pleased. It was just so rewarding, and I just decided 2 years ago that I'm going to pursue this.
Wow. So you made a career shift.
Total career shift.
Wow.
Having no knowledge of what being an entrepreneur is, I just knew that education had fulfilled me and was done. So I was going to leave that chapter there, close it up.
Wow.
And then, there was some rough road for a little while. And then I did some side jobs and saved money and bought a new camera.
Wow.
And just took it to the next level and built the portfolio. Took some jobs that were not as, high paying, but let me meet you. Let me get this experience. I moved back to Smithtown from Manhattan.
Wow.
And just started networking. And I was used to being up early. So I know there's a lot of, business people that say, like, you got to get up early. You got to get up early. And photographers are known in the creative world as it's not nice. They're lazy. They're flighty. They're not professional. But I had this skill set, and I was used to being up early. And I had, worked my way out of a classroom and had done some leadership. So I was ready. I was like, all right, what happens now?
Yeah.
So people were networking and meeting in the mornings, and I just started going.
Yes.
Started making my own routine.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do. And then every single person I met, I followed up. Thank you so much for meeting me. Like, just if you ever need anything, I'd be happy to have lunch. Let's grab a cup of coffee. And I just started to build relationships with everyone I met. With everyone I met. And that was like the first year. Was just build relationships and get your name out.
Yep.
I actually met our fellow chamber member, Ron, amazing resume writer. I needed mine done. And we linked up, and then that was my first collaboration. And I started to then be like a menu item for his resume writing service. So it was, if you need your LinkedIn and you need a new headshot, you're going to call Elise.
Got it.
And I just started to network that way because my headshot sessions are private. So it gave me a chance to kind of like network and chat with the business owner or the employee. What else do you shoot? What are you into?
Opened up other opportunities.
It opened up other opportunities, and it was almost like a free pass to have this one-on-one time with you.
What a great strategy.
And that's what I went on. I was like, I want to shoot as many headshots because everyone now needs them, whether it's, I don't judge anyone. So if it's for your dating profile or if it's your LinkedIn, I don't care. But let's, because all those networking groups always were promoting, have a one-on-one, sit down, build a relationship. And I was like, well, I can do kind of two things at once.
Yeah, kill two birds with one stone.
And I did, even some realtors. I shoot some real estate, and now I'm meeting homeowners, and I shot someone's Sweet 16 because
of someone that you met while
I met shooting their home.
Great.
We just bonded instantly. It was in 45 minutes.
Wow.
And real
amazing.
Estate photography is very quick, but there's a homeowner. They have a family.
Of course. It's always something else. You're keeping your eye open for those opportunities.
Yes.
That's great.
I was like, let me just shoot.
You're a hustler.
Oh, I'm a hustler. Yeah. I'm not used to not working.
Yeah.
And
that work ethic that you have, though, that you seem to just naturally have, not a lot of people have that.
I found that out.
Yeah.
The hard way.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot of people have the work ethic to be able to work a little bit extra, a little bit longer, where they value the result. They're like, oh, I want this, but I'm not really willing to work hard to get there. You are passionate about both. You're passionate about the process. You're not afraid of the process.
No.
And because you know that this process will net you a good result.
Yeah. My eye is literally on the prize.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
It's a great perspective.
I thought about it very recently, 2020. I was like, okay, I've been doing this now a year and a half, almost 2 years. Let's do an audit here. And I realized that my skill set as an educator is not lost. And I just, it was really hard to kind of let go of one career and then say, how do I fit? How do I fit into this world? Yeah. And I was like, wait a second. Back it up. My first year of teaching, I was, I think maybe 24, 25. It was hard. I was in a city school. I saw all these teachers with their shit together and all these routines, and I was a disaster.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything.
Right.
And then almost 15 years later, I was that teacher. I was the leader. I was coaching the other teachers. And I was like, all right, so it takes time.
Of course.
Right? So let's go back to basics. And I kind of wrote it out, and I said, you have these skills. Yeah. So now we're going to repurpose them.
Yeah. It was great that you had that experience to lean on, though.
Yeah. I think that people are like, oh, do you regret being a teacher? No, I don't regret it. I developed such amazing skills. Yeah. I have my administrative license, and I just decided, okay, so I'm not going to be the principal of a school. I'm not going to lead a school, but I'm going to lead myself. Yeah. I'm going to lead my own ship here. Yeah.
Let me ask you something, because I think there's a lot of people right now, because we're hearing this from some various influencers that people are unhappy with the job that they have, and you're someone who you worked in a career, you did well, you did it for a while, and you made a serious shift, right?
I did.
So just to encourage some people, if you could have this like real moment right now, was it scary during that shift? And was it worth it? Like, are you regretting it? Like, can you share this a little bit more?
I would be happy to, because of the fact that I was that person. I was living a life that I felt I was not in control of. I was a robot. I was getting up every day. I was going to a job that was not making me happy. And because it was not making me happy, it was affecting me personally. And then I was coming back to an apartment, living in a wonderful city, and not even taking advantage of the city. I was just not happy. I was curling up, going to bed early, not talking to people. And I finally said, you need to relook at your life because this is not healthy. I was always like a pretty healthy, happy-go-lucky person, like, how I am right here. And it just was like a solid 2 years of a downward slope. And then I guess hit my rock bottom one day. Yeah. I mean, I was that person. I think it's a meme, like when you go to lunch and you just never come back. Right. I didn't come back from lunch. Like, I had that meeting with my principal during lunch.
Oh my gosh.
And I had done my research. Like, I at this point had known how I can pull this off and what I needed to do.
Yeah, it wasn't completely random.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't like, there was a system in place. I had sick days. I was going to take a leave and kind of.
Oh, it sounds like you were perfectly responsible about the whole situation.
So it was, but I literally just was like, I can't anymore, and I'm going to leave effective now.
Wow.
And that was so scary because I didn't know that I was going to be a photographer.
Yeah, what a brave moment, though. I mean, you got to be brave to do that.
I was like, I think I'm going to put a pause on everything else right now and say my health and my life is the most important thing. And if you don't have that, you can't have anything else. Yeah. Because if you're not performing, like if you're not healthy, how are you going to perform at your job? Right. You're not going to be able to show up. Yes. And I was teaching. So if I can't show up for these kids, what's the point? Yeah, and they were able to see it. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, this isn't fair. Yeah. So it's not fair to them. It's not fair to me.
So you were honest with yourself about the situation.
Big pride issue.
Yeah, that's a big thing for a lot of people. Yeah. But then also you developed the courage finally to pull the trigger. Yeah. And that's where most people stop.
100%, because I knew. So this is what happened. I was living on my own. I'm in my late 30s, living on my own. I have no attachments, and now I can't pay this rent if I just kind of stop this ship. And what are my options? And I was like, well, my option is to go back where I grew up. Yeah. And my parents were very supportive and said, if this is what you want to do, we welcome you. Right. And I'm like, what is this going to do to my social life? What is this going to be like? And I just all of a sudden said, what's happening now isn't going to make it any better. Right. You can't solve it this way. So if this is how it is.
You make the temporary sacrifices to help you now push you in the place where you want to be. Right. That's all it is.
That's all it is. So then it was like, okay, but now I move back here. And it's like, well, now I know what it's like to be out on my own. So that's it. You got to get back there. So every day I'm like, hustle.
Amazing. Incredible. So what has been, now that you've made the transition, and you've been a professional photographer now for the past 2 years, you own your own business, what would you say would be one of the most difficult things that you've gone through? What's one of the biggest challenges so far?
I think, honestly, shifting from a creative mindset to the business world, it's really hard, but also because, like, as a creative, you want to provide, I want to give you this photo. I really do. Right. And it's like, when they're like,
now it's your livelihood.
Now it's my livelihood. So it's like, but now you do have to pay.
Yeah, of course.
I had to learn a lot of sales.
Yes.
I had to learn marketing. And at first I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, have as many as you want.
Yeah.
And then you
It's a
get
big
taken advantage of.
It is. Well, because it's a big culture shock for entrepreneurs, brand new entrepreneurs that like they have a craft or a talent or something that they love and they want to make this big transition. It's shocking because what they realize on the front end, they're not spending a lot of time doing what they love.
Right.
You know,
Right.
first they have to build infrastructure and systems and processes and all that stuff. And that's a shock to people.
You spend more time building your business and behind the scenes.
Of course.
Than actually like shooting photos.
Yeah.
And, editing. I mean, editing takes a long time, but
Yep.
I know I can outsource and send that out.
Sure.
So those two aren't like it's what I love to do, those two things. And now it's like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
I don't do this that much.
No. Time management now is a big part of
I spend
it.
so much part of my time. I like to have a really great rapport
Yeah.
with my clients.
Yeah.
So I like to meet them. So just nurturing the relationship of each
Huge.
client that comes in
More than the photography, it's more relationship.
takes a lot of
Yes.
time. So now I'm realizing you can't wear all the hats.
Yeah.
You cannot wear all the hats.
Impossible.
And you have to delegate
Yeah.
appropriately.
Yep.
You gotta find people you trust because this is your baby, and it's
Yep.
extremely hard to give up control.
Oh, I understand that. I get it. But you have to delegate where on those areas where it's not your craft, it's not
Right.
why you're in business, but it'll help your business, right?
Yeah.
So outsource it.
Yes.
And you figured that out.
I did. I
Good.
recently figured you
Good.
cannot be the one woman show.
You can't.
And as much as sometimes I got to get a second photographer.
Yeah.
I need a
course.
second shooter. I need someone at this perspective.
Bite the bullet. Swallow the
Yeah.
pride, right? It's more
Swallow
important to satisfy the customer, have a great experience, build your business, than
Yeah.
to say, I do everything.
Because I personally, if someone said to me, what do you sell? I'm not selling photos.
Yeah.
Right? It's a whole experience. I
Yes.
want my clients to be
Yeah.
comfortable. I want
Yeah.
them to keep coming back. I want
Right.
them to say, I had such a great time. And when they look at the photos, just remember, wow, we felt so awesome. We had
Yeah.
so much fun. That
Yeah.
was a great memory. And
Yeah.
that should be hanging on the wall.
Right.
That was what we looked like at that time. That's
Yeah.
what the kids looked like at that
Oh,
time.
photos are so important.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it is really, really important. And I think people are, especially now with the accessibility of cell phones, I think people do value photography. They do, and everyone has these milestone moments. We'll call them, right? They're getting married, or there is a special birthday, or it's a corporate event, and these special milestones require, in my opinion, elevate your game. Get something now really special.
Yeah.
Don't get just a selfie that
Right.
captures just the moment,
Right.
but capture the nitty gritty details.
And that's I truly believe in that. My style is like that. I like to very fun, but artistically capture those in between moments. Because I think that's the glue that's going to bind your story.
Without a doubt.
So if I shot a small event and then we're looking back at the photos, it's a bride might see herself hysterical, laughing. And maybe she's like, oh, but it looks like almost my laughing face isn't the best. But
Yeah.
it's almost I'd rather you have that photo because
course.
it shows you having the greatest time. On
Yeah,
the
it's
best
also
day
a
of your
trigger
life.
of maybe that particular moment.
Right.
You don't want everything to be staged and posed. You want the candid moments.
Yeah.
That's a memory.
Yeah, I prefer those. I get the most positive comments about
Yes.
when people are looking at their photos, oh my God, this moment. Because,
Yeah.
when the bride is coming down the aisle,
Yeah.
I have one camera on her and then I have one on the groom.
Mm.
When he's first seeing, his bride.
Yep.
Or, if they're doing the first look before.
Yep.
Those are very key moments. Or when the parents first see their child in their wedding dress or in their suit.
Oh,
and
it's huge.
Those moments I pay attention.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a little bit of a detective and I
Sure.
seek them out.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
I think it helps. You have
Yeah.
to know what to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Because those posed, everyone can, all right, get in a group. But if you look back, you're going to look at the group photo and be like, I don't
Yep.
talk to that person.
Yeah.
This one might not be alive.
Yeah.
This one moved.
Yeah.
And it's you're just standing
Yeah.
instead of look at us having this great time.
Yeah.
We're laughing over this, whatever it was.
Yep.
Or maybe you'll remember, oh my God, that was when, Johnny slipped on the dance floor and we were
Yeah.
all
Right.
laughing.
Right. So give me, I have two quick questions
Yeah.
before we launch into some other stuff here. One, as a photographer, I know, because I'm sort of I'm not a photographer, but I own a media company, so I'm in the sort of media space, right?
Sure.
So we get to see things that most people don't. All right, most of it is great, but we also get to see some of the weird moments. Like I've seen some weird stuff, some really funny stuff. Really quickly, go back into your memory files. What's one like a really funny or weird moment that you happened to see while you were a photographer?
I actually saw a pony in a house.
In a house.
I saw a pony in a house. It was a child's birthday.
Oh my gosh!
And the father, it was his daughter's third birthday, and he's like, I got a pony.
For her third birthday. She has no idea.
No idea, right? And he was like, I'm the best. Every party.
Wow.
Because this was the first child and the only child at that point. They might have another by now. But
Sure.
This child, it was also in November. It was cold.
Oh my gosh.
She was not getting on the pony.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't care what happens. She's getting on the pony. And they had the kind of front door that was like the double doors.
Yes.
So you could kind of like unlatch, and then the second door, it makes it wider.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden the wife looks at me and she's like, he's not bringing that pony in here.
Oh,
and
my
I'm
gosh.
just ready
in the house.
In the house. And that pony came in the house because he's like, if she's warmer, she'll ride the pony.
Oh my goodness. I bet you everyone who attended that event is still talking about that.
Yeah, I think I don't, I asked them, I'm like, can I share these photos on my
right.
personal?
This is wild.
There's a pony in your house.
Yeah. Does anyone else think it's weird here?
Yeah. This pony's in the house.
Right.
We're giving pony rides in the house?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pony came right in the house. That dad was determined.
Wow. All right, so I know, listen, you're not the only photographer on Long Island. I know there's others. A lot of people are photographers these days. What is something that you've done to help differentiate yourself as a photographer from everyone else?
I think that I personally take the time to nurture all of my client relationships. If somebody sends an inquiry, the first thing they'll say is, "Hi, what are your prices?"
Yeah.
I want to get you on the phone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. If it's a big event, let's sit down. Let's go grab lunch. What's your favorite restaurant?
Yeah.
I find something to bond over.
You really invest into the person.
I really invest in them as a person. I try to, obviously I do a little Facebook research, and I kind of
course.
find out, did they travel somewhere? Maybe I went there.
Yes.
What are their interests?
Yeah.
I really want my clients to feel like there's a friend photographing them, because it just makes it so much easier, and people are more comfortable. I think you're more comfortable in front of your friend's phone camera, and then even today I did a corporate shoot and people saw me coming with that camera and it was like, oh, not me, don't get me. People get very nervous because we're not used to it. So I try to really make them feel just as comfortable and that they're not, yes, things might be automated technically, but they don't feel that way. They feel that it's very personalized.
Okay. So on the front end, they let everyone know that you're a photographer, but you also have some unique services, right? And I think that's a differentiator that you have. There's other wedding photographers, right? There's other corporate photographers, but what's an area that you're serving that you feel like, there's not many people that are serving this particular niche?
So I recently entered into the boudoir photography niche, and I love it. I feel that it's not just like an empowering thing, but women are kind of getting a hard run of things sometimes, and I think it's a lot of social media, and they're just kind of picking themselves apart. I had done this graduation shoot of graduates, and they're 22, and they were like, "Oh, get out my double arm and my chin," and I'm like, You're 22, girls. You're beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
And you shouldn't be seeing these flaws. And I think that the internet and social media has really played such a hard time on this.
Yep.
I want women to kind of have I want boost their confidence and give them a renewed feeling of self-worth and self-love. And I think that it's important.
It's an incredible mission. It really is. I think it's important as well.
Yeah.
I think people need to have a better sense of self, security in the sense of self.
Yeah.
And not sort of, see something else and project that on yourself and saying, I don't have self-worth because I don't live up to someone else's standard.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. And that's kudos to you.
Thank you.
For doing that and having this sort of a mission. That's incredible. What made you get into sort of that niche? I mean, how did you do that?
So it's an interesting story. going back to like when I was a teacher, I ran a club for just girls in New York City. They had like a rough go of things, and myself and another coworker, we were like, we're very close friends. Saw such a need for girls to have these role models and to realize that like you can do better, right? Because they would say to us, "Oh, you girls are great friends, and you travel and you do all these things and you live on your own," and I'm like, yes, because you can,
right?
And it just came up this overarching why of that women can achieve anything without any boundaries. And I always worked with that group, and then not teaching anymore, I missed it. And then I discovered this group they have one, it's called Girls Inc. And that's basically on a large corporate level was my club. And I just, by coincidence, got sent to an event that was the Girls Inc. event. And it was, they do this for young girls. They give them opportunities for scholarships and to succeed and excel in some of the maybe lower socioeconomic areas of Long Island. And I think LA has a chapter. And I was like, you know what? I was watching this event and I was like, I want to be able to donate.
You were moved by this.
Yeah, I was so moved because I spent so much time working with women and young girls that are like, I'm not going to be anything because of the background they came from or, different struggles, but you can. There's horrible things going on with young women and girls, and it shouldn't be. And I want them to have as much opportunity. So if I can give as much to this group, right? So then it's like if I fail myself or I don't show up in my business, then I think about these girls that are not going to have these opportunities. So like that's where it stemmed from. And then how can I do more? So like there's a lot of women out there that after they've had kids or right before they have kids, they're like, I want to feel beautiful. I want to look back and remember this time in my life. Or maybe they've already, been through all of their children and they want to, feel confident again. Because sometimes as a mom, they have the hardest job in the world.
They do.
And we're always, as women...
It's a thankless job.
It is. And we're always nurturing and taking care of, and is everybody okay? But, like, you have to be okay, too. And it's important. It's a mental health thing, and it's so it's a whole experience. They come in, and we hair and makeup. And
really?
Yeah, it's
that's
a
really
pampering.
special.
And while makeup is getting done, we kind of vibe and chat and talk about, different things. And the makeup artists are amazing that I work with, and they're young entrepreneurs themselves. And then they're so, I've seen like all these walls just break down, and then they're like, this is what I want to be photographed in, and this is, what we're going to do. And it just, they look at these photos.
And you just see them transform, like, as far as their confidence is concerned.
And they'll see a photo and they're like, oh,
that's me?
I'm beautiful. And I'm like, you're always beautiful. You're always beautiful. But if this is, what it's going to take to show you that you're beautiful on the outside and the inside, and that you can keep this and look back, and then I feel fulfilled.
That's remarkable what you're doing.
Thank you.
I honestly applaud you for all of the hard work and giving women that type of outlet and platform where they can just regain their confidence. That's incredible.
We have a great time. And it's like, you don't have to, they're always, I don't know how to pose. I'm not a model. And like, no, I don't want you to be. I don't want
yourself.
I want you to be you. Like sometimes there'll be like a funny picture where they're like, that's my face. That's the face I make. And I'm like, you have to have this photo. Like, they're like, my husband, my fiance, this one will laugh at it. And maybe I'll make him, a gift of these photos, but they're really for them.
Oh, that's amazing. Very, very cool.
It's really cool.
So, do you have anything like coming up? What's next? What's next for your business?
So next, I have some exciting stuff. I'm actually going on location. I'm going to be in the West Palm Beach area for all of March and half of February.
Oh my gosh!
I have I've been selected to shoot a couple small weddings. I do some stuff with PGA Golf. And I'm going to try to market and I have actually some women's boudoir on the beach, like outside, swimwear, just a new environment. I love outdoor natural light, so sunset. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
I'm really excited just to meet new people and have a different like shooting environment, and golf is also really fun. I did that last year.
That's cool.
I'm not a golf person, and it was like my first time on a golf course. And after I shot like these action golf pro shots, then they're like, well, this is what we do when we play golf, and I'm like, all right. They're like, have a beer.
All right, done.
Okay, great.
That's amazing.
So you're up early and you're on the golf course.
Yeah,
and you're
it's
done
fun.
at 3 and.
golfing is fun. Like, I'm terrible at it, but I enjoy it.
It's not, it wasn't a hobby of mine, but
you got to capture some good moments.
Super fun. I've ended up doing a lot of golf, and it's a really fun crowd.
Wow.
They like to look at their action shot to see their form. So a lot of golf instructors will have me capture as their like really high shutter speed type stuff, capture their action, and then they can see where they like moved out of place. It's an interesting little.
I like to see the pictures of me playing golf so I can see everyone's weird reactions to me playing. I was a couple months ago. I got to play with Mariano Rivera. I don't know if you know who that is, the Yankee pitcher.
Player,
yeah. So I got to play golf with him.
Great.
And he made fun of me actually for the length of time, and he laughed at me.
Oh my God.
And there's like even this like one picture. I'm like, I think I was like actually putting, and it was like terrible putt, and he's in the background like literally. I think I'm about to fall over in laughter.
Like this guy.
Yeah. And he's like taking the golf balls and he's like throwing them at me, and so I like when people can capture those moments of other people making fun of me. So I don't mind it.
All right. Well, I'll come along, and next time you're with those athletes, I'll gladly step in there.
Yeah, there you go. So very, very cool. So I know also there is a lot of other activities within the Smithtown community. You mentioned it before, and it's related to like the Chamber of Commerce getting really involved with linking organizations with businesses.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about some of these charitable organizations that they're involved with? And in your opinion, as a local entrepreneur, have you seen a difference in the way that everyone's involved here? Like, how has that benefited the local marketplace?
I know that they're heavily involved with, I think it's the Smithtown Children's, I don't know the full
foundation.
Yeah. And now there's a Hop Hog branch. And there was a fundraiser in the fall, and I shot that, and it's just all local business owners came. I mean, so many people were there from the chamber just supporting, and no one's doing any of these things for profit. It's just it's so many people came out. I mean, they do so many things. I mean, even Festival Day.
That's huge.
Festival Day
must be like 15,000 people that come.
Yeah. So
it's
many
an
people
amazing
came
event
to Festival Day, and just town of Smithtown really is just booming.
Yeah.
There were so many great businesses there, and just getting people to come, and they do all the street marketing, like on all the poles. The chamber is responsible for
is that right?
Yeah, the chamber does all of like during the holidays, if you want your company on one of the lampposts, and all of that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Is through the chamber. So it's really I'm fascinated by it. I've experienced some other chamber activity in some other towns I won't mention. I just like that the Smithtown Chamber everyone was so welcoming. Everyone is willing to lend a hand. And I had a new project that I wanted to bring to the chamber, and they were like, run it by,
they're really open to all that.
They're really open. I was like, I have another small business owner. He works with me as a videographer, and we do a lot of stuff together. So I was like, can we kind of share this position, and we'll revamp the social media of the chamber and add video. And, just they're always welcome to bring more people in, and it's just everyone is so into it. Like it's just friendly and
it's really unusual, and I really think that chambers from around the country should take note of how the town of Smithtown runs their Chamber of Commerce. It's unusual. It's really it's definitely a sense of community. There's a unified sense. It's not this selfish sort of structure. Everyone that I've met so far is really open to helping someone else out, helping another business owner out. They want the community to do well, and other chamber members, even if if you got the ear of your chamber board, talk to them. Get them to be a little bit more active. I'm telling you, the chamber is an influential, pivotal piece in a community.
I think it's like when people ask me, other photographers in other like parts of the country that I talk with, I'm in like different groups, and they'll say, I wanna leave the wedding industry, or during the week I wanna do more of this or that or corporate. And I said, you got to start with the chamber. Go to your Chamber of Commerce. Start there. I feel like the most, willing people are there also because they have the same mindset. They want to build. They want to meet people. I see new faces almost every time. And then the old faces that you see are the builders. You know, we're all here and working together, and everyone knows each other. Everyone's always welcoming. Hi, how are you? How is this event? How is that going on in your life? And it's really just been an amazing year with them.
Yeah.
I've gotten some great opportunities.
Yeah, you can't say better things about it.
No, I mean, I've met county executives, and you know, I get to, you know, have lunch with them.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, what's a better networking than that?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, even when they were here, I mean, we had the event here in the studio. We had that workshop inside, and it was such an honorable thing to be a part of. But, you know, it's incredible how, like, the energy that was in that room.
Yeah.
It's incredible, like that. All the membership base, it's a really great group. And
I have to applaud you. I've seen everyone obviously tagged you and like added you, but I've seen people implementing the strategies that were taught right then and there.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I've got to have some really great conversations after the event with people. And you know, this one person like took a screenshot, and they were like, "I literally did everything you said, and I can't believe how many comments I have already." And you know, it works.
It's true.
It really does. I mean, whether it be marketing like myself, building a personal brand, copywriting, podcasting, whatever it is, you know, if you're a master of your craft and you simply just execute on it and you work hard at it, you'll get results.
Absolutely. I think the key is discipline in anything. Discipline, hard work. I'm always just dedicated to education.
Yeah.
I think that you have to always learn to better yourself, but discipline and hard work, because there's a lot of days where I'm like, so many people wouldn't feel like figuring the software out.
Exactly.
You know, people are like, oh, you haven't caught up on the latest season of, I'm like, no.
Right.
I don't have the time.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
yeah, you're prioritizing though, and that's important.
I'm like, maybe on a Sunday when it's raining, I catch up on the DVR, but it's like I can't.
Yeah.
My focus is just on growth and you know, wanting to do this for me
and being the best photographer you can be.
Being the best photographer, and
That's
I have
amazing.
all these young women that are needing to succeed, and I feel like their success is on me.
100%. Yeah.
I don't have children, but I have a niece that I'm extremely close with, and I want her to know that like she can do anything. So I talk to her, you know, making sure she knows what I'm doing, and I want her to just know.
Yeah. I have kids as well, and not as well. I'm sorry. I have kids.
Yep.
And two of them are girls. I have triplets actually, so 2 girls and a boy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got a zoo at my house. And but that's one thing. That's what we teach our girls, and my son too. But my girls, I pull them aside. I'm like, you know, you are important. You have value. Yeah. And I don't think that they are short of confidence at this point.
Good.
So now I tell them, I'm like, I want you to be confident, and I want you to speak your mind, just not with me.
Yes, because you're gonna say, oh God, I created monsters.
Right, exactly.
And they're like
exactly.
telling dad to like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But it is so important. Teach your kids, boys, girls, both. Be confident in yourself. Your value is not what other people necessarily say about you at all.
100%.
Yeah.
And I, you know, on a very personal, I'll tell you a real personal note. My mom always taught me to be independent and to always be able to provide for yourself, because you never know what can happen.
Sure.
And unfortunately, when I was a little girl, I lost my dad to cancer. And my mom was in her 30s, and she had 2 children.
Wow.
And and we're very lucky. My mom remarried. I have an amazing stepdad.
Yeah.
But like the lesson of, you don't know what can happen. You know, she's like, I want you to always be independent, that you can, you know, survive if God forbid. And I think that always resonated. And that when we were maybe younger, it was like, well, can a woman be her own boss? You know, when maybe I thought that because I was a teacher and this is a steady salary, that's good enough. And then it took a little while to realize I can take that further. I can be independent. I can be my own boss, and I can do these things. Yeah. And I think that a lot of women sometimes get lost in that.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, even stay-at-home moms. You know, sometimes I have a lot of friends that they're like, I wish I was in the world. Like, you know, they lose that a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm like, but you have like a job.
Yeah.
You know, but they're like, but I'm in the house. I'm not getting out there. And it's like, there's this balance of what can I do? And I'm like, you can do now a lot. You can do stuff on the couch.
Exactly.
You can watch the kids, and you can build a business.
Right. There is ways of doing it. I agree.
So there's ways now. And I don't think anyone needs to be dependent on anyone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you have goals and you have discipline,
Yeah.
you can
You
just
could do it.
achieve and just stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah. Good advice. Last 2 questions for you. First one is easy. What camera do you shoot with?
I am a Canon girl.
You are a Canon girl. Okay.
Yeah, so I have my favorite is my Canon 6D. Actually, it's a beautiful camera. It's not the newest camera, but it's light and it
Yes.
shoots beautifully in low
Oh,
light.
yeah. So what kind of glass do you have?
Oof, God. My favorites are my primes.
Okay.
So I shoot often with an 85.
Oh, it's my favorite lens. It's right I shoot Sony's though.
Okay.
So
That's okay.
So I got a G Master 85 Prime. It's my favorite lens.
Yeah, an 85. I have 1.4 right now.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is good. Those 1.2s are pretty pricey.
Yeah.
I'll rent it when I need it.
Yep.
And then as far as Zoom, my 2470 gets me through a lot of events.
Sure. That's like the go-to.
Yeah.
Every photographer needs to have that in their kit before anything else, right?
I would say that, and maybe like a nifty 50.
Yeah,
A little 55, little 50, because you can get it for like $100,
Right.
$125
Yes,
nowadays.
yes.
I tell anyone that's like trying to be a photographer, learn to shoot in manual.
Yeah.
And grab a 50 1.8,
Right.
maybe $125, and then
Yeah.
you can do portrait, you can do landscape, and
Yeah.
you can really learn about depth of field, and
Yes.
and you can do a lot.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So I want you to plug yourself away. I want everyone to know where they can find you, whether it
Okay.
be you personally or your business. Please promote yourself right now.
All right. If you want to find me, early in the morning, I'm in the gym. If you want to work out, come to LI Live. But
That's the first time I've gotten an answer like that on the show.
you want
That's
to find
awesome.
me early in the morning. That's the only time you can actually get me working out. But otherwise, it is under construction. But the new Elise Margolin Photography.com will be launched soon. Otherwise, Instagram. Check it out. There's a lot of underscores. It's at _Margolin_photos.
Okay.
You could check me out.
We'll
there.
include a link to make it easier for people to navigate.
And Facebook, Elise Margolin Photography, all over Facebook. And if you like my photography page there, I have some private groups and some different things. But
so for that one other area that you service, the boudoir, and that's a private thing, and I know girls want to be private. They don't want to maybe know and broadcast everywhere that they're doing this. You know, what is there a private way that they can find you and talk to you about this?
So yes, most right now I've been just running some Facebook ads, and the messages come in.
Yeah,
and then I have a private Facebook group for women, and
so you're not promoting their pictures all over the place. Like, it's very private. You respect them.
Only photos that get shown in the group. I have model releases.
Gotcha. So it's up to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the group is all like just different things. Reasons to have a shoot, or maybe some self-encouragement, or some memes, some funny lady stuff.
Sure.
Behind the scenes, I show a lot of like what the experience is like.
Right.
Artists.
People more comfortable with it.
Yeah, just so that people can see.
Okay.
I have some testimonials.
Yeah, great.
Just a lot in there. But no photos get published without strict permission.
Of course.
Everything is private. Galleries are locked and private, and
this
nothing
is just
goes
between
out.
you and the client.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's like client photographer privilege.
Yeah. Good for you. I actually,
Thank you so
I
much.
wish you really well with that. I think
it.
empowerment is important. I think confidence is really important. So, and you're accomplishing all of that.
Thank you so much.
So, really, really great job. Thank you so much.
I appreciate this. This is a
for
great
coming
conversation.
on the show. This is a big deal. I really appreciate this.
I love it.
Yeah, 'cause it sounds like you're really busy, and thank you for carving out some time to be here.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I think that everyone needs to hear the voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Voice behind the camera.
Exactly.
I'm usually behind the camera.
Right,
so
exactly.
Here I am.
You got to come out in front a little bit more.
Yeah,
everyone has to know who you are.
I'm working on that.
That's what's key. Personal branding. We were talking about that at the workshop. You have to have a solid personal brand. People have to know who you are, what you do, that you exist.
I went
all that
live
stuff.
last week.
Congratulations.
And in my group to show everyone that
this is what I look like.
What I look like, and that this is out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
So I was, shaky
Awesome.
and nervous,
but you did it.
But I did it, and
Proud of
I
you.
think that if people saw that, it's like, this is her.
Wow.
Doing it. So
good job. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Keep it hustling. I love it. I'm sure I'm going to see you at a lot of events too.
Yeah. I'll
awesome.
be there. I'll
Very, very
face.
cool. Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, guys, follow her. Not only is she a fantastic photographer, but she's killing it in building relationships and building her personal brand now. Follow her, even just to follow the way she does things. I think she's doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And for
Check it out.
for any woman who fits, into the criteria of what she was saying for her other services, honestly, reach out to you. I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Thank you
so
very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like some women are like, I don't want to wear lingerie, so wear your pajamas. I don't care what
exactly.
You wear what'll make you feel beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful and confident and comfortable.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Wonderful. Guys, follow her. It's amazing. And thanks for tuning in, guys. And remember, don't fear the process and don't fear grit. I'll see you next time.